think you should.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Fire Trader from firetrading.org, and here to do the weekly market analysis and kind of see what I'm looking at. Show you guys what I'm kind of thinking for the week. Things are getting pretty interesting up here. They really are. We have some very bullish signals up here, but at the same time, we have some very bearish signals as well. So at this point, it's going to be sort of which direction is the volume going to come in? Is it going to come in and continue to push it higher, or are we going to come in, or is the volume going to come in and start flushing this thing lower? So I'll give you guys kind of what I'm seeing for both scenarios. First thing I want to go over here is the moving averages, kind of some of the support and resistance levels as well as the moving average. So moving averages they're strong. They're looking good. We're pointing higher on the 21 moving average as well as the 5 here on the daily. If you guys don't know, I use the 5 as a momentum indicator, and every day the candle likes to touch the 5 moving average, and it doesn't matter which time frame it is, whether it's the daily, weekly, monthly, hourly, 30-minute, 5-minute, it doesn't matter. Each candle likes to touch the 5 moving average, and if it closes off of it, then it's an indication that it's extended to the upside, and we need a pullback or a period of consolidation in order for that moving average to catch up so we can continue pushing higher. And when the 5 is pointing higher, it's an indication we're in a strong bullish trend. When the 5 is pointing lower, indication of a strong bearish trend. And when we're flat, we're in a period of consolidation. So the 5 here on the daily chart is pointing higher. It's starting to flatten out just a little bit. So, and that's due from this little period of consolidation that we're having just below, trying to test the highs here. The 20 moving average still pointing higher. So it's an indication, longer term time frame, we are still holding that nice uptrend. Now, I do want to point out here the stochastics as well as the RSI. We are in overbought territory on both of them. Not quite RSI. We're just below that 70 mark, but if we're bumping that 70 mark, that's telling me that we are, we're overbought. And stochastics are in the overbought territory. They're actually starting to curl up a little bit, as well as the RSI. It's kind of starting to get that little curve towards the upside as well. So it's starting to show us that the momentum is actually starting to come back in towards the upside. Now, the thing that I'm concerned about here is how we're just in this overbought territory on both of those. Now I want to turn my focus here to the weekly chart and show you guys what's going on with this one. We are, still extended off the 5 on the weekly chart, as well as, overbought on the stochastics on the weekly chart. But the thing is that concerns me is being extended off the 5 and coming up to all-time highs is pretty concerning for me. And the reason why is because it takes a lot of energy for a stock to bust through resistance areas. And if we don't sit back and consolidate and build up that energy, we're going to come up to those highs and we're going to get rejected and we're going to pull back, and it's going to be kind of nasty. So that's a little concerning for me, is how we're so extended going into a resistance level. If we pulled up to this high and we sat back and we consolidated for a couple weeks, then we would have enough energy to kind of bust through and continue pushing higher. So that's a little concerning. Stochastics overbought. That's a little concerning as well. RSI still pointing higher, so that's still indicating we are in an upward momentum, and the 5 moving average is pointing higher as well as the 21. So everything is showing us that we are holding a strong upward momentum. The problem is we're just getting a little overextended to the upside on this weekly chart. Now, I want to go over something here that's also a little concerning. And if we, you guys know, with technical analysis, the idea of technical analysis is history repeating itself, right? Because we don't know what's going to come. We just know what it's done, right? So every time, I shouldn't say every time, just about every time SPY comes up towards the high of day, or I'm sorry, all-time highs, after having a decent pullback, we tend to get rejected. Okay, so I'll show you guys a couple examples here. We had a pullback right here, right? We came up towards the highs right here. Sorry, right here. Came up towards the highs before breaking above it for a little while and then having a big pullback, right? Now, I'll show you guys again here. Now, this would be a new all-time high, right? Right up here. And we proceeded to trend right back up towards the high before getting rejected at it and pulling back again. Now, we came up, put a new high in, had a little pullback before coming up towards the high, getting rejected again, and having a pullback. And then eventually we busted through. So, but if you guys look at this pattern that we're looking at here, every time SPY comes up towards the all-time highs, we tend to have a bit of a pullback, right? But each pullback gets a little bit smaller. So we had a big pullback, a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller. And that's what I was talking about earlier about SPY having to build up energy in order to bust through it. So if we're extended like we are right here going into the highs, we've already exhausted our move going into this resistance level. Now we need a pullback or a period of consolidation in order to get enough energy to bust through it. And then we get that pullback, we build up the energy, we can bust through it. And then we get a pullback, we build up that energy, we need a little bit longer here before we can bust through it. So that's, this is what I'm kind of looking at here on the market. And we are extended here going into all-time highs. So I am anticipating a pullback. If you guys look, every single one of these pullbacks were on average about 6%. So if we were to go by these pullbacks, this one was a little bit more. This was almost 20%, I believe. But if we were to go off of these ones, we would be looking at about, about 315, 314, right in this area, 316 area for a pullback. So I'm not saying that it's going to. I'm just saying this is where it has a potential to go, if not even lower. If we do get rejected here, we could very well break through it, hold above it, consolidate above all-time highs before we continue pushing higher too. That's a very, very real scenario too. Okay. And last one here on SPY is going to be the monthly chart. And we are extended off the 5 on the monthly chart. So this is just another time frame confirming that we are extended going up into all-time highs. And I'm not trying to make a bear case. I'm just calling out what I'm seeing here. And everything is just showing us, we do have that strong momentum. We are holding this strong upward momentum. There's no doubt about that. But the problem that's concerning is we are going into this very, very tough resistance level being overextended, and that's not a very good scenario. Now I want to switch my focus here to Qs, and Qs played out beautifully this week. Let me narrow it down here. We had a bit of a pullback on the Qs. We started seeing that, and this couldn't have been more perfect. I mean, look at this right here, right down in the 20 moving average. This is a beautiful bull flag forming right down in the 20. And then I want to, okay, so it pulled back right down in the 20, right? Well, look where it pulled on the weekly. Right into the 5 moving average to reset itself. Qs reset itself on the weekly chart. This is huge. This means that we have the power to continue pushing higher on the Qs. Okay? We reset the daily. We're higher time frame reset all the way back to the 20. That's perfect. We're reset on the weekly. That's perfect. All of these are indications that we are reset, ready to push higher. Let me switch back here to the daily chart. Moving averages pointing higher. 20 moving average pointing higher. 5 slightly kind of flattening out a little bit. But look, the stochastics, even though we are in this overbought territory, we are curling higher. We're crossing back over to the upside, indicating the momentum is starting to come back into the upside. RSI, we're not overbought, so just watch for the RSI to kind of start curling to confirm. And we are back in the strong uptrend on the Qs. Weekly chart. Stochastics are showing us we are overbought as well as the RSI, so that's kind of something to pay attention to. but the 5 is pointing higher, the 20 is pointing higher, the momentum's there, the trend is there, everything's there. Now the last thing I want to go over here real quick is just the monthly. This is the only concerning thing here on the Qs is stochastics overbought, RSI overbought, RSI is starting to flatten out, stochastics is flattening out, and we're extended off of the 5 here on the monthly chart. Okay. So it's kind of going over the technicals here. I don't want to make any predictions. You know, I just like to play the price action and just play what it gives me. But, you know, I'm not going to say there's going to be a pullback. I'm not going to say that we're not going to bust through highs because we very well could. But the things are kind of stacking up here, indicating that we could potentially break through highs and then get a bit of a pullback afterwards, averaging, you know, about 6 to 7% pullback off those highs. So, that's kind of what I'm looking at this week. We are extended going into very heavy resistance. So if we don't get a pullback, we're going to see another week of choppy markets. Okay. So thanks guys for tuning in. Thanks for watching this video. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. If you guys want to come check us out and trade with us, I'll put the link down in the description for the Fire Trading website. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. And yeah. See you guys.